Depersonalisation. As the old joke goes, when you finally declare that you are God, in the Western world, the men in white coats start to take out their straitjackets. When you say this in the East, people will say to you, "So glad you finally got it." When one's entire being is predicated on being somebody, the idea of not being somebody seems really alien and scary. So much so that in the Western medicine we pathologise depersonalisation and try to find a way to medicate our way back into being. Psychologists will tell you that you're having a psychotic episode and with enough therapy and medication, they can bring you back to yourself. In most of the Eastern spiritual practices, the idea is to expressly divest yourself of this you. What a curious dichotomy. You. Let's look at what makes up you and why you might want to scale it down and even step out of it, like a thin actor stepping out of his fat man suit at the end of a day's work. Well, I can only kind of scratch at the edges of this, like a fat cat trying to gain entry through a tiny cat flap. I have had experiences of depersonalisation, where the vastness of all there is has swept in, and in one case roared in like an ocean wave. If you ever played a computer game in the 1990s, such as Red Alert, your little character ran around a map. The map was shrouded in fog. As you wandered, more and more of the terrain was finally revealed. This has been my experience to date. Patches of wonder interspersed through an ordinary yet wonderful life. Of course, like so many teachers, I've read much on the subject and talked with people who I suspect are already there. But I'm clear that I have not yet vaulted that bar. Beware of the people who indicate that they are enlightened but still shout at traffic wardens and grope young impressionable ladies. Further confusion comes when I use the phrase like "get there." The more I study and feel into the process, the more I am aware that I am already there, and always have been. And you are too. Gosh, we love overcomplication. We love somebody to set us a target. Sweep my steps for 3 years, then I might show you a practice that might help you find your path. But don't expect anything to happen for the first 10 years. If I manage to get the right hairstyle, ponytail, a nice jacket of sky blue silk, a cool looking cave, then I'm certain I can con you into following me. This cave isn't going to paint itself. We so love to have hurdles and set ourselves on a spiritual journey of 100 gurus and books, tough weeks of silence and self-searching, hours of navel-gazing. We feel obliged to do something in order that we finally receive what? Well, hopefully nothing. I'd like to say at this point that this essay doesn't invalidate my life's work or out me as a fraud, because I hope that all of you who pay me receive good information on keeping this body of ours together. We need to keep our bodies strong and working well if we're ever to complete this task of depersonalisation. So finally we get to the big question: who is the I that you speak of? Who actually are you? I'm always drawn back to the Taoist image of the raindrop returning to the ocean. As player number 1 in this game, you arrive as a little raindrop. You do your raindroppy things, and then you return to the ocean. The molecules that make up your raindrop never break down, they never disappear, they just merge back into the vastness of the ocean. Until one day they'll evaporate into the clouds and rain down to become player one once more. This is the same with you. This is the same as with what you assume you to be. You are the ocean, and so am I. When I look in your eyes, I see myself. Every one of us is the ocean. How would the vast ocean ever discover anything about itself if it only ever remained as the one? The ocean needs the raindrops to go out there and to discover all there is. As player one, I navigate this life and interact with you. As we do so, the ocean, playing with another version of itself, learns more. The fog is cleared away to show more information. As player one, you start off with a variety of gameplay options you can equip. Do you start with a big bank or with no cash at all? Do you want one parent or two? Do you wish to play a boy or a girl? Do you want to be black, white or brown? Catholic or Protestant? Conservative or socialist? Healthy or sick? All options are available to you in this game. And the interesting thing to note is the game has several phases, including life and death, and possibly life between lives, where you get to review your last game and decide what role you'd like to play in your next game. You never leave the player lobby until you decide to return to the ocean. The great thing is that the game is a free world. You can make anything happen that you want. In the life state, you can make miracles, change your life, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or shoot yourself in the head, no matter. In the death and in-between stages, you can visit heaven, hell, purgatory, nirvana, either the band or the place, reincarnate as a donkey or have a near-death experience and then come straight back. It's a fantastic simulation. It's up to you to make it heaven or hell. In the life state, your job is to experience as much as you can, gathering information for the ocean and expanding the map. You can choose the easy way or a path of total suffering, your choice. If you've chosen the latter, never mind, it's only a game. Try to make some better choices now and make better choices for the next time you play. When you equip your Raindrop ready for the game, there's only one rule to get started with. You have to forget that you were ever a raindrop. The game is littered with clues for you to play with, the Om symbol, books and gurus to advise you, and of course your own deep intuition. Some people crash through the game, step on a mine and blow up. Others take it easy and gently and make it through to score 100, usually bowing out shortly after. We clad our Raindrop in so many ideas. I am a white, middle-class male with a good education and a lovely persona. Well, this Raindrop seems to fancy itself rather a lot and has a very high opinion of itself. I could have easily chosen poor, single and unloved. All of these constructs are just ideas. If I'm born with only one leg, it's just an idea. If I develop cancer, it's just an idea. It's all part of the complex game we call life. All of these attributes that I equip myself with, and that I have gathered along the way, make up the I that I'm presenting to you today. They are not, however, the Raindrop. They're just window dressing for the Raindrop to play the game in. They're just ideas. Life. What the hell, Jeremy? How does this twaddle help me in any way? I'm stuck here with cancer, heart disease, diabetes, etc. Fill in the blanks. I have an abusive wife, husband, boss, child, dog. Delete as appropriate. I have a mortgage I can't pay and the bailiffs are knocking on the door, demanding my TV set. Do some Qigong. That's all I have. Okay, let's dig a little further. In my class, I teach you about listening to yourself. Listening deep inside. In this essay, I mention your deep intuition. Essentially, listening to your first thought. I suggest you start with a modicum of pre-planning. It's always better to use preventative medicine rather than needing help. Fix your diet while you still have a chance. Stretch your body while you still can. Exercise your body and your mind while it's still flexible. Fill your life with things you love. But don't get too attached. I'm suggesting that if you consciously navigate this process, and it's not already too late, then you'll not slip into disaster, and you should manage this process in a happy way. If you choose to get attached to things, then you'll naturally experience the highs and lows of ownership. You get a new Mercedes. Elation! Somebody steals it, you hit rock bottom. You love your partner, your children, your dogs so deeply. When they eventually run out on you, your life is crushed. Live life lightly. If you manage to not become too invested in the game, if you manage to enjoy this life and navigate a middle path, then what? I think enlightenment is a fun target. I don't think Qigong will take you there. I don't think meditation will take you there. I don't think Buddhism, spirituality, Hinduism or Jedi-ism will do that either. I think the only way is to realize that you are the raindrop and to understand that none of the game is real. I think you have to navigate life listening to your intuition and not your heart or your mind. First impulse, no matter how crazy, just do it. I suspect that more silence and less noise might make the path a little clearer. I think that drilling deeply into the question, who am I, might clear the path a bit. From what I've read and heard, the lower slopes of Mount Enlightenment can be rather scary. The mind is unable to grasp the nature of the vastness and tries repeatedly to think up other reasons, justifications and strategies to move you away from the mountain. When the vast ocean sweeps in and stays for longer, the fear, if there was any, of losing yourself is replaced by the wonder of being everything. Eventually, this gives way itself to bliss, love, and the vastness of consciousness. You'll see that there never was a you, just your player one character. You'll see there was never me, just another profile the ocean created to keep you company in the game. In the game, well, it's a free world. I suggest you choose love, happiness every time. It's up to you. Just remember, none of what you're experiencing today is real. Anything can be changed. Anything can be healed. Nothing is of a consequence. It might feel as if it is, but it's really not. If you die tomorrow, you can respawn the day after and have another go. If your family believe they can contact you when you die, then they can. That can happen too. It's a free world. Life and death are all part of the game. Let's play it well, people. Hun Yuan Ling Tong. I translate this as Qi and consciousness create miracles. Live long and prosper. Maybe there is something to this Jedi-ism after all.